Welcome. I'm your host, Bruce, with Prep Hoops, your Nevada boys high school basketball content writer, exposure scout, and rankings expert. Week 1 of the season is over. We are going to talk a little Wild West shootout results, some freshman sensation, and we are going to recap last week's Ball Dogs Prep Hoops Game of the Week, as well as introduce this week's Ball Dogs Prep Hoops Game of the Week. We are back. I was up in Reno this week at Bishop Manogue High School for the Wild West Shootout. Big thank you to Cecilia Tennert, Coach Ballinger, and all the workers for the Sierra Kids Foundation. The Wild West Shootout, in addition to being a great basketball tournament, it's also for a great cause. The Sierra Kids Foundation supplements the efforts of 3 outstanding programs in Northern Nevada that all work directly with families and young children with autism. The best part about this event is that all the proceeds from the event go to helping these families get the care and support that they deserve. So again, it's a big thank you to Cecilia Tennert and to all the members and the board of the Sierra Kids Foundation for putting on a great tournament. Now to the basketball action. The 8-team event saw our Prep Hoops 5A number 1 ranked Bishop Gorman Gales escape with the championship. And I say escape because in the first game, Gorman trailed by 10 going into the fourth quarter against a very disciplined, very well-coached Folsom team. To be honest with you, it was like watching paint dry as Folsom slowed the tempo down, basically played for open shots or open threes, and they did a good job of not turning over the ball. But as champions do, the Gales responded. Ryan Abelman came up big. He did what seniors do. The Northern Arizona signee buried a huge 3 to stretch the lead from 2 to 5 late in the fourth, and the Gales were able to escape with that win. And after that, like most championship teams do when they see their life flash before their eyes, the Gales responded with 2 dominating performances, getting a big victory over, at the time, number 6 ranked Bishop Manogue, and then finally winning the championship with a victory over a injury-depleted Jesuit squad from California. MVP honors to the event go to the aforementioned Ryan Abelman. He was great all weekend, knocking down threes, spacing the floors. He was very, very consistent. All tournament team honors goes to Andre Stojakovic for Jesuit, 6'6", sniper. Until he got injured, he was arguably the best player in the facility, knocking down shots, showing good athletic ability. His teammate Jaden Teat, who I thought showed toughness and leadership ability, helping his team escape in a tough victory over Vacaville. He was also named a first-team all-tournament selection. John Derrick, the 6'7" power forward from Foothills, was also named as an all-tournament team selection. He was good on both sides of the ball, protecting the rim and scoring in the interior for the Falcons. Jace Richardson for Bishop Gorman was also named to the first-team all-tournament team. The lefty was spectacular in the game against Manogue, burying threes from all over the place. He is one of the top defensive players in the state, and he was able to quickly turn defense into offense. And finally, Ethan Goon, the 6'6", skilled 4-man from Bishop Manogue, comes in and makes the first-team all-tournament team. I thought he played well, showed a lot of skill stretching the floor, stepping out and hitting threes. And that's Ethan Goon from Bishop Gorman. Now, moving on from Reno to the rest of the state, we have to talk about the biggest story so far this new season, which in my opinion has been the breakout of the freshman sensations. We've had freshmen all over the state making an impact. Kevin Wilkins from Valley was huge, coming up with 4 threes in his debut against Spring Valley, leading Valley to an upset victory over our then number 1 ranked team, Spring Valley. Tayshawn Gouda Jackson, the younger brother of Taviante Jackson, wasted no time making his name felt. He scored 20 in his debut against El Dorado. I'm actually headed over to the Wildcat Den tonight to see him as they take on Palo Verde. Connor Sheets, he was solid for Spanish Springs. Spanish Springs was depleted. And Coach Penny will tell you he knew he didn't have his guys, but I thought Connor Sheets played well. He did a lot of good things for that squad this weekend, including handling the ball and knocking down shots. C.J. Shaw, 6'3" wing from Mojave. He plays with such poise. He was able to lead the Rattlers to the big win over rival Cheyenne. He's led them to a 5-1 record to start the season. Mojave is hot behind the play of C.J. Shaw. Chris Nawali, the 6'6", 6'7", high-flying wing from Bishop Gorman, was effective in his limited minutes this weekend. Super athletic, spent a lot of time on that rim. It was great to see him this weekend. Julius Robinson, I don't want to forget my left-hand strong, bully-driving freshman. He finished with 14 in his season opening debut this week. And finally, Qualab Gallup from Chap had 2 double-doubles against big-time opponents. He came in with a double-double against third-ranked Valley and then a double-double against 5A Centennial. Those are just some of the freshmen that have been out here making an impact this week. When we come back, we'll recap last week's Ball Dogs Prep Hoops Game of the Week. Moving on, last week saw our very first Ball Dogs Prep Hoops Game of the Week. Cheyenne traveled to face crosstown rival Mojave. The game was absolutely amazing. The atmosphere inside the gym just felt like a true rivalry game as both the cheerleaders and the fans went back and forth. It was all love, though. The competition on the court and in between those lines were fierce. A couple of takeaways from that game for me. I thought David Tenner put himself on the map. The 6'3" senior wing for Cheyenne was terrific, playing both sides of the ball. He was able to score from multiple levels offensively, including getting all the way to the rim and stepping out and hitting threes. And defensively, he was nothing short of elite, being able to guard on the perimeter as well as use his wingspan to protect the rim and block shots for Cheyenne. C.J. Shaw stole the show for the Rattlers. The freshman, as I mentioned before, had 20 to help lead the team to a big victory. The game went back and forth, but I thought overall the difference was Mojave was able to have more guys who were fresher later that made plays for him. Nathan Sherrod came up big with a couple of threes. Giali Chapman was huge for him in the win. At the end of the day, Mojave got a 56-52 win over their crosstown rival. I was able to catch up with Coach Kewan Clark after the game, and you can hear a little bit of the interview on my IG channel. Now, we will be back after this, and we will break down our top 10 rankings for this week, as well as take a look at the top 3 breakout players that we've seen so far. Quickly, let's run down our top 10 teams in the state. First, in 5A, we have coming in at number 10, Canyon Springs. Coach Banks' team was 1-for-1 on the week. They got a win over Sage Ridge and fell to Cimarron. Coming in at number 9, Reed High School from Reno. They are 2-0. They have been led by the play of senior guard Jace Cook, who's averaged 22 points per game, as well as senior guard Michael Agee. Coming in at number 8, the Centennial Bulldogs. Coach Hartsock's team is 3-2 on the season. The Bulldogs are led by bully guard Javen Jones, as well as the Elijahs, both Hart and Bernie. Big man Chase Jackson had a double-double for him in the season opener. Big test this week for them as they will travel to face Wasatch before coming home to host Spring Valley in the Bulldogs Prep Hoops Game of the Week. Number 7, the Jags are off to a 2-0 start, led by guard Isaac Boykin, who's having a breakout year, averaging over 18 a game. Senior guard Jameer Stevens has also stepped up, showing an all-around game for the team. At number 6, we have the Foothill Falcons. They are 3-1 this season. Coach DeSantis' team went 2-1 up in Reno at the Wild West Shootout. They're being led by senior forward John Derrick, as well as the backcourt of point guard Jamon Hammock, as well as sharpshooting Declan Smith. Number 5, the Bishop McNogue Miners. The Miners went 2-1 during the Wild West Shootout, only falling to Gorman. They were able to get 2 big victories, and they've been led by consistent play from Ethan Goon, the 6'6 small forward, Isaiah Garcia, the 6'1 point guard, and Jordan Morency, the 6'2 combo guard. They head on the road this week to face Mcqueen before heading off to California to face Jesuit. Coming in at number 4, the Coronado Cougars, 0-2 this week, but they fell in 2 tough contests out in Texas to Wagner and Memorial. Coming in at number 3, the Durango Trailblazers. Coach Beaton's team is 1-1 on the week. They fell to Modesto Christian, but they've been getting good play from guard Shane Thomas and Taj DeGorville. They head up to Utah this week to take on Lehigh and Corner Canyon. Number 2, the Liberty Patriots, 3-0 this week. Patriots have been dominant to start the season. They're led by their big 4, Angelo Cabala, DJ Thomas, and Josh Jefferson, who had 27 in the game. They have their running mate, high-flying Aaron Price. The Patriots look like a team to be contended with. And finally, our number 1 team, the Wild West Shootout champions, Bishop Gorman Gales. They've been led by the play of senior sharpshooter Ryan Abelman, as well as the steady hand of sophomore sensation Jason Richardson and sharpshooting John Mobley. They are on the road for a rare in-state non-conference matchup this week against 4A rival Mojave before they head out to Phoenix for the Hoop Hall. Now, for the 4A conference rankings, coming in at number 10, the Green Valley Gators. The Gators earned a victory over Shadow, and they have been led by shooting guard Phoenix Wortham, as well as Jitterbug PG Dominic Washington. Coming in at number 9 is Basic. Coach Leonard Taylor's Wolves have fought their way to a 3-2 start behind the play of senior forward David Estes. He's averaging 15 points to go along with 7 boards. Sharp-shooting sophomore Christian Baltierrez is off to a hot start, averaging over 11 a game, including a 21-point effort in the win over Desert Oasis. Coming in at number 8, Coach Kai Childress' Rams are making their first appearance in the top 10 after getting a victory in the Legacy Tip-Off Classic with wins over Faith, Clovis East, Legacy, and Cheyenne. They're led by their guards Jamar Mitchell and Kai Childress Jr. Coming in at number 7 is Cheyenne. They went 3-2 on the week. The Desert Shield sandwiched in wins between 2 tough losses. Guard Donovan Webster has played well, and the aforementioned forward David Tenner is one of the Breakout Player of the Year candidates. Big week for them as it includes a rematch with Shadow Ridge and another rivalry game on Friday versus Canyon Springs. At number 6, it's the Mojave Rattlers. They went 5-1 on the week. The Rattlers used an emotional win over crosstown rival Cheyenne to be the catalyst for the week. C.J. Shaw has broken out and emerged as one of the state's top freshmen, and sophomore sharpshooter Nathan Sherrod, has helped space the floor for the Rattlers. They play the role of David this week as they will be hosting 5A Bishop Gorman. Coming in at number 5, the Sierra Vista Mountain Lions. They are 1-1. They cruise past Sunrise Mountain before falling to Valley in a tough overtime game. They've gotten contributions by Kyrance Jefferson as well as sophomore guard Kamari Taylor. Coming in at number 4, the Spring Valley Grizzlies. The Grizzlies rebounded from their opening loss with 2 straight wins. They've gotten play from point guard Elijah Adom and big man Pharaoh Compton. They will face Canyon Springs and Centennial this week in 2 tough tests, with that Centennial game being our Ball Dogs Prep Hoops game of the week. Coming in at number 3, the Valley Vikings. The Vikings have looked strong. They're off to a great start, undefeated behind Coach Willie Scott. The play of junior point guard Naka Fabello has been absolutely brilliant, and freshman wing Kevin Wilkins has thrown his name into the ring as one of the top freshmen in the state, as well as the top shooters in the state. They will have a huge test this week as they will host the current number 1, Las Vegas High School. Coming in at number 2 is Silverado. Silverado got 34 from Kenyon Giles to get past Arborview. They are getting play from freshman Julius Robinson, who had 14 in his debut. They travel to take on 5A Faith Lutheran tonight. Coming in at number 1 with only 1 game played, it is the Las Vegas Wildcats. They were dominant in its only game. They have the best backcourt in perhaps all of the state in Taviante Johnson and TJ Brown, and they got 20 points from freshman Tayshawn Jackson. They have a huge week ahead of them as they have a matchup against Palo Verde tonight, where I will be, as well as a matchup against Shadow Ridge and an undefeated Valley squad. So coming in, that is our top 10 of the week. Quickly, every season sees players come from nowhere to put their name on the map. Let's take a look at our top 3 breakout players so far this season. Coming in at number 3, we have Isaac Boykin, the 6'2", shooting guard from Desert Pines, is averaging over 18 points a game. He had 23 in a big win over Shap. Coming in at number 2, Phoenix Wortham, the 6'1 shooting guard from Green Valley, is averaging over 16 a game, and he scored double figures in every game. He is tied with 18 three-pointers for the state lead in three-pointers made. And our number 1 breakout player of the week is Jake Wright from Mcqueen. He has opened up with 2 monster games of 33 and a 40-point performance. Those 3 are our top 3 breakout players from the week. This week's Ball Dogs Prep Hoops Game of the Week comes to you from the Kennel, where Centennial, our number 8 5A ranked team, will take on our number 4th ranked 4A team, the Spring Valley Grizzlies. Now, these teams just played on Saturday, so it'll be a brief turnaround and a rematch. Couple of things I'm looking for in this game. Excited to see the Faro Compton matchup versus Chase Jackson. Compton is a high flyer who plays above the rim, while Jackson is one of the state's best rim protector. I'm interested to see if Spring Valley can get scoring from other guys besides Compton and Elijah Adem, especially for Adem, as he will be hounded by 3 of the top perimeter defenders in the city in Emeka Caesar, Javen Jones, and Elijah Hart. I think in this game, I'm going with the upset, as I think Spring Valley will get a little bit of help in scoring from some other guys, and I think that they will avenge the loss on Saturday with a narrow 71-68 win over Centennial. Now, when I come back, I'll wrap up, let you know where I will be and where you can follow me. Okay, let's wrap this up. This week, I will be at Las Vegas High on Monday, checking out our number 1 ranked 4A team. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be at Centennial on Thursday for the Ball Dogs Prep Hoops Game of the Week. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at 7ounce B-Ball Club 1. Go to IG and check me out at Bruce Prep Hoops. Go like us on the Prep Hoops Nevada Facebook page. Contact me on any one of those channels to see how you can receive 30% off your subscription to Prep Hoops Nevada, so you can stay up to date with the latest Nevada boys high school basketball information. As always, if you can't find me there, you can catch me in the gym.